West Virginia defensive lineman Ahkeem Mesidor turned in 2 pretty productive seasons with the Mountaineers, and he is now headed to Miami.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, we had the same conversation. And, I was very understanding as far as funny part is I talk about the fact that we should probably take our time and boom, look, 5 stars hit the transfer portal. Now, although Mims decided to go back to UGA, I felt as though with our scholarship rotation, we should give it a little bit. Okay. And you look at Mesidor, of course, he was on an official visit with his teammate who was already a transfer, and Porter Jr., transfer cornerback, defensive back to the University of Miami. Coach Adai spent time at West Virginia as soon as 2 years ago. He was at UGA last season, but the year before that, for 4 or 5 seasons, he was at West Virginia and built a pretty solid defensive back core, at least for West Virginia standards, in the Big 12. So he has relationships with a couple of those guys. And Mark, I'm going to tell you this, more and more young men will see the opportunity to come and be a part of what the University of Miami wants to be. And that's great. And a lot of people are going to want to be a part of this and step into it and be a part of the new regime. So I don't think this will be the last time we talk about a commitment from a previous institution. And I don't think that last week's exit of Cody Brown and Tyreek Austin-Cade will be the last time we talk about the exit of current Miami Hurricanes finding love elsewhere and finding a new girlfriend. Because this one is ready to start being with some big ballers. And I think that's where we're going to go.
We talked about it the last couple of weeks with Mesidor and the speculation. Just one more go around on this. Have you had a chance to dissect his tape?
Absolutely. You talk about a 6'3", 250-pound young man who plays with his hands. Now, he's still learning the game, similar to the UCLA outside linebacker edge rusher that Miami is bringing in. But with Mesidor, we're bringing him in to be a 3-technique defensive tackle. Okay, we are going to be getting after the quarterback from the 3-technique and off of the edge. Soon, and very soon, we are going to see the king. All right, no. Soon, we're going to be able to get in some. We're going to get into some 1-technique and some nose guard transfers that Miami is sending offers at and going after, because that seemed to be the big issue at Miami. Is we haven't had a true 1-technique to hold it down to allow guys like a Harrison Hunt or Leonard Taylor or even Nestor Silvera to a certain extent to be able, Luchenstein, the new USC transfer, to be able to get around the corner and attack the shoulders of guards and defeat hands and kind of play free to a certain extent at their 3-technique position, since Kendrick Norton did it for R.J. McIntosh and did it for our middle linebacker, keeping guards and centers off of our middle linebacker. Okay, so I love what Mesidor brings to the table. I'm very excited about him. And the biggest thing, Mark, is that you want to create quality depth. A lot of people feel like it's all about your 22s. I've said this on your channel for years. The 11 on defense, the 11 on offense. It's not about the 22 total. It's about the 22 on each side. So you're 44. How deep can you go with quality elite talent? Okay. Chase Young was only a year behind Nick Bosa. You didn't know who Chase Young was until the Bosa brothers were completely out of the door. Okay. Going 3rd overall and 4th overall and kicking butt in the National Football League. All right. That's how these elite programs do things. Now, Alabama's a little different. It's more about the A and, the Nick Sabanism and like the number on the side of the helmets as opposed to the player themselves, because it feels more like, the strong side 3-technique at Bama is always going to be an ass kicker. The middle linebacker is always going to be a flyer. The free safety is always going to be an All-American. Irregardless of whom the name is attached to, they'll always be great. Some programs do it to where they kind of spotlight and circle around the specific players, like a Clemson. You can rile off their best players because, they really focus in on their personalities and who they are, whether it be with their long hair or Deshaun Watson's elite playmaking ability, or Hunter Renfrow just showing up at these big moments Trevor Lawrence winning big games as a freshman and going to the national championship. So I think we're working. Miami is working to become something similar to that, where we want to be able to plug and play, but we also want to give spotlight to our players and show love and shine a spotlight on those guys and spotlight their personality. So we're doing that with a couple of our guys, and the newest one is going to be Mesidor, transferring from West Virginia. I'm really excited about what he could bring to the table, but more importantly, that he can come in and really put the pressure on a Harrison Hunt or a Leonard Taylor or a Lutcher Stein, where they don't feel like they just walk into these starting positions, because you're going to get tired. You're going to have times where we need to pull you off the field for certain packages. And we don't want to go from like an A- down to a C+ at best when we start to drop into our depth.